I have made some bad mistakes in my time, but that's the breaks, and I'll bet I've had way more fun than you.
Today's project is a stitching pony, made from one store-bought 2x6 and a few pieces of scrap. I cleaned off my radio arm saw and used it to cut the 2x6 length for the seat and clamp pieces. An old rougher 2x6 will do for the legs. I moved my portable table saw outside and I'll use this to cut the rounded edge off the parts of the seat and the clamps. Next, I'll set the saw to cut 6 pieces for the clamps. Then, reset it and cut the leg pieces in half. I need to join the 2 pieces of the seat together, so I'll use glue and any clamp I have on hand that's wide enough. Since I'm short on clamps, I'll let the seat cure and move to the bandsaw to trim the parts for the clamp pieces. I'll cut a radius to remove some of the bulk and take off just a bit on the ends. Then it's back to the table saw workbench to put together both sides of the clamps using glue and any remaining clamps I have on hand. After letting the part sit for a few hours, it's back outside for some sanding. I'm not being all that careful about getting a good finish. I don't mind if it's a little rough. I'll use the bandsaw again to give the seat its shape. I could have used a jigsaw and got the same results, but I really don't like using my jigsaws. I really need to chew up the wheel on my 9-inch bench grinder and get some grinding discs. It would have saved me 40 minutes of filing and sanding on the seat. Here's everything sanded enough to prevent me from getting a splinter. Now it's time to clean up the table saw and cut the compound angles for the legs. I decided on 7 degrees, so I set the blade and miter gauge to 7 degrees and made the first pass on all the legs. Then I reset the gauge to 7 degrees in the other direction and cut the legs to length. Next, I laid out the position of the stationary clamp and drilled pilot holes. Then I clamped it into my shopmate stand and used glue and screws attached to the seat. I probably should have waited to attach the moving jaw. It fell twice and almost hit me in the head. After drilling pilot holes, I attached the legs to the seat with the long screws while holding them in place. Lastly, I added some cross bracing made out of scrap wood. It has just a little wobble, but I'll fix that later using lag bolts as height adjusters. I decided not to use a threaded rod in the knob to close the clamps. I went with the classic style of using a leather strap and foot pedal to hold the clamp shut. But use paracord because that's what I had on hand. Here is the first test and holds this folded vinyl perfectly. Thanks for watching.